Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, guys? Good to see ya. Hope everyone is doing well out there. It is. Hope everyone.
Jermaine
Can't even
struggled
talk.
for years
Hope
with
everyone's
dental
doing
issues
good.
before
I'm gonna grab a
finally
charger
finding
so I can plug up my
Nubia.
phone
Listen
here.
to what he wanted most after
But
the smile
I hope.
makeover.
Oh, sorry about the background audio. That's just an ad coming through because I have my stream pulled up on my other monitor here so I can see the chat and stuff. But anyways, hope you guys are good. Hope everyone's well. Let's see who we got here for today. We have ourselves Anthony. Good to see you, man. I'll do your zip code here in 1 second. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you as well. And of course, everybody else who is just now joining. It is good to see you guys. Hope everyone is good. But anyways, so I do have a zip code here. Anthony, I'm going to go ahead and pull yours up real quickly because you've been waiting patiently. I appreciate it. Okay, so you... Oh yeah, you're down in southwestern Mississippi. So we do have a level 1 threat level 2 threat for today. Slight risk here. You're actually outside of the tornado threat, so we do not have a threat for tornadoes. We do have a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts here. So we are going to be seeing potential gusts upwards of like 60 miles an hour or so for today. It's not in the significant risk area, which is good. And then in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a level 1 5% chance probability here for hail. So basically between like 1 and 1.5 inches in diameter, can't be ruled out. Now, pulling up the current radar, you can actually see, here, let's go ahead and bring up our reflectivity. Yeah, we're actually in quite a bit of convection right now. Yeah, there's actually a couple storms right around you at the moment. It looks like we do have a bit of lightning detection out here, but I assure you that it's not anything severe. Hold on, let me actually confirm that. Yeah, it's not anything severe currently. We do have a special weather statement out there by Centerville, though, here for 40-mile-per-hour wind potential and hail, basically up to 1/4 of an inch in diameter. So not anything super crazy. But I hope that helps. And if there's anything specific you want me to look at, just let me know. Anyways, what's up, Bryson? Good to see ya. What's up, Queen of Chaos? Good to see ya. What's up, Kim? Good to see you as well. What's up, Haley? What's up, Lo? Good to see ya. I see nasty clouds and wind in southwest Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's quite a long line that we're dealing with here. If we actually zoom out, I do want to actually bring you guys over here. We'll pull up the current radar. We'll just bring up the full picture, essentially, instead of just one site. So this is the current radar. You can see this long line extending from basically eastern Texas right now through Louisiana into Mississippi, into northern Alabama. But the line does go up into Pennsylvania here as well, and up into New York State here. So, yeah, I mean, it's quite a decent little line here. In which, today we do have all hazards on the table, like we mentioned here, tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds. So we're going to be here to definitely do some coverage for you guys. Because, today I think we'll definitely need it. So we do have, at the current moment, we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings. I do want to actually kind of get rid of the lightning detection areas. Let me go ahead and do that real quickly, because I feel like the lightning detection, it takes up too much of the screen. Here, let's do place file manager, and we're going to turn off lightning here. Yeah, that frees up a lot of the screen here. I feel like it was just too cluttered. Anyways, but we do have a couple of warnings here here in Mississippi. So actually, sorry, that was a little bit old. Hold on, now we're into current data. We do have one warning here in Mississippi, including Walnut Grove, Hillsborough, Harperville, Lena, Edinburgh, and Carthage area. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and actually $half size hail here. So we do have a potential for hail up to 1.5 inches as well as, 1.25 inches as well as gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Let's see here. Dennis says you're doing an excellent job. Thanks. Oh, well, I really appreciate it, dude. That's greatly appreciated. And you are very welcome. Thank you as well. Let's see. Yes, sir. Big time help. Much appreciated. No problem. Tony says it's a solid line. Yeah, it's a pretty good little line here. Absolutely. We also have another warning up in Texas we'll hop over to real quickly. This one's for more of the lower part of Texas, more for southern Texas here. But when that radar loads, we'll go over it. What's up, William? Good to see you. Currently looking at fog here in Maryland. Please stay safe and don't let your guard down. Absolutely. Hope you're doing good, William. Haley says we didn't have any tornado warnings yesterday. Well, that's good. Definitely glad to hear that. See, the wind's picking up in Southwest Virginia. The line's still yet to hit you guys here. Let's hop back over here for a minute. Then we'll go over that one warning. But yeah, the line is approaching Southwest Virginia. You're in the warm sector right now. What I mean by that is right now we have a lot of warm, moisture-filled air, kind of pulling up ahead of the system, and then on the backside we're going to have that cooler, more drier air eventually advance in. So, yeah, the winds do typically pick up a bit, just before the line, before the line there in the warm sector. That's where you're experiencing those winds currently. But the line, yeah, it's still not quite in Virginia, but it's getting closer. Let's see here. It looks like it'll be mostly rain at the point. We're just hoping for a little thunderstorm action. Yeah, let's actually bring you guys back over here to the SPC real quickly for today's outlook. So they do have a marginal risk today for Virginia for more of the western side here. So that is there is a threat out for Western Virginia. Eastern Virginia, not necessarily. Tomorrow, we do have another little marginal risk. I don't think we're going to need coverage tomorrow, but we do have a level 1 threat for tomorrow. Then we go into the day after tomorrow, which, let's see, today is, what's today? Is today Saturday, I believe? Yeah, I think today's Saturday. Yep, so today is Saturday, so day 2 would be Sunday, which is tomorrow for the little marginal risk here. And then we have Monday. We have a level 1 threat. But, I hate to tell you, but we have another lineup of severe weather here. We actually have a pretty big 15% risk here, extending from central Texas all the way up to Indiana here for day 4. So we got yet again another really big event potential here for day 4, and then day 5 it also extends all the way from eastern Texas all the way up here to even southwestern New York State here with that 15%. So yeah, we got to definitely keep an eye out for for those days as well. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Believe it or not, West Virginia is getting strong winds as well. Andrew, what's up? Good to see you, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Thankfully, just rained for us in southeast Kentucky, at least where I live. Yeah, we do have a couple storms out here at the moment. Okay, let's hop back to the current radar. They actually just canceled that warning we were getting ready to go over here. This one included Bourne and Pipe Creek in southern Texas here that has now been canceled, which leaves us with the one severe thunderstorm warning here in the region here in Mississippi. So this includes Lena, Freeney, like we mentioned, Madden, Harperville, Hillsborough for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar-sized hail. Now, there is still going to be potential for tornadoes today. Comparing to yesterday had a much bigger tornado threat, but today there still absolutely is going to be a possibility for a couple tornadoes. If we do hop over to today's outlook and we pull up the tornado probability, we do have a really thin 2% chance area here for basically northern Louisiana, cutting through Arkansas, going through Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, and then we reach the Ohio Valley. Up here in eastern Ohio, we do have actually a 5% chance here in the Brown. So the greatest storm potential here the greatest tornado potential for today extends for eastern Oklahoma. Man, I am really tripping my words today, man. Eastern Ohio going into western Pennsylvania and a little bit of northwestern West Virginia here. This is actually also a SIG level 1 risk. So the new overhaul from the Storm Prediction Center, the SIG level 1 tornado threat means that we could see potential tornadoes up to EF2 in strength. Now, nature can be crazy and sometimes can be unpredictable. It's not capping it out that, that's 100% everything's going to remain under EF2. Nature is crazy, and like I said, sometimes unpredictable. And every once in a while, you could get a storm that could be stronger. But generally speaking, based off of parameters and stuff like that, that they've come up with, they've tested this whole system for years. But they do expect most of the tornadoes, if they occurred, to be up to or within EF0 to EF2. If it was a SIG level 2, then it would be up to EF3, SIG level 3 up to EF4 and EF5. But thankfully, we are not in that category here for today. Definitely good. Let's see here. Looks like a fun week ahead. Yeah, definitely. More and more things I got to cover here. Definitely been quite active in the beginning of March here. What's up, Queen? Saying, when I get a chance, can I check on a zip code? See, I got an email saying we have a tornado watch until 8 p.m., but when I open my weather app, it doesn't show the watch. Yeah, I can pull it up for you. I can tell you if there is a watch, too. Let me bring this up. So you are Pennsylvania. All right, so we have the watch overlaid. Okay, so we do have a tornado watch in effect here. Let's go ahead and hide that. We still have a few counties in the tornado watch, but I think, yeah, they expired it for you. You're no longer in the watch. That's why it's probably not showing up. Is because they expired it for your county. However, the county east of you, the yellow counties here, you can see these are the areas that are in the tornado watch. Just a thin little stretch, but the tornado watch is east of you. And I think the main line, yeah, the main line is already past you, so you're not really in any of a threat anymore. Yeah, the thing is that once that main line passes you, the threat for severe weather pretty much just goes out the window. Because the line comes through and more stable air starts building in from the backside of the storm system. Which stabilizes the environment here. But yeah, there is a little bit of rain out there, but that's just kind of from the back part of the line here for the most part. But it's not really convective. It's not going to be anything to worry about, really. Anyways, do I like the new SPC outlook? Yeah, it took me a minute to get used to it because I've been so used to the old system. But the new system makes more sense because it separates storm intensity from storm probability. That's the thing about the new system, is that they can tell you, in different cases where you could have a couple intense storms, but the probability is pretty low, they can issue an intense, outlook and with low probability. In the old system, you really couldn't do that, but the new system you can, which is definitely, I think it's a lot better personally. How is Wednesday looking for Johnson City, Tennessee? Let me bring up that area real quickly. So this is up in, eastern Tennessee. I don't think we have anything. So today being Saturday, so we have a setup for, here, we'll bring up the outlook again real quickly. So today is Saturday, so this is day 1. Day 2, we don't have anything. Day 3, so this is Monday. Monday, we have nothing. Going into Tuesday, we do have a threat on Tuesday for Texas to Indiana here. Going into Wednesday, we do have a 15% chance here. So we do not have this area in Johnson City is not in the 15% risk area that the SPC does have. However, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Because it's not that far away from that 15% risk area. So I mean, we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on it. Let's actually bring up the models. I'm curious to see kind of how the models do look here. So let's bring up the HRRR, or actually, let's bring up the, we're going to have to bring up the GFS because this is long range still. So let's do that. We'll pull up the instability. We'll do most unstable cape. So yeah, this is just the fuel, or the unstable air, which thunderstorms do need. So going into Wednesday, it seems like we do have a pretty good amount of instability. I mean, nothing absurd, but according to GFS here. But as that line does work its way eastward, the instability kind of runs out. So that leads me to believe that, at least according to this model, it probably won't be as severe out by you, is because we're basically losing a lot of instability. Queen says, perfect. Thank you so much. I saw a little more behind the line. I wasn't sure. Much appreciated. Yeah, of course. No problem. Yeah, no, those few showers that you're seeing, that's nothing to worry about. The main thing is just that initial line that you got to keep an eye on. Pretty much this part. This is kind of the part you need to look at. Now, right now, particularly, these are not severe storms, but essentially the head of the line here, that's where the biggest concerns are. Everything behind it is fine, because what essentially happens once that line passes over you, for one, like I mentioned, more stable air builds in, but also the winds change direction and stuff, which actually make it to where tornadic activity is impossible for the most part. The conditions have to be specific for like tornadic activity, but once the line passes, all of the kinematics change. And like I said, also the atmosphere stabilizes, the thermodynamics change as well. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see. You just saw pink lightning? Wow. Yeah, this whole line's been pretty energetic, actually. There's been quite a bit of lightning strikes with it. All right, let's hop back over to the warnings. We actually got a new severe thunderstorm warning here for Louisiana. This is for Nacogdoches County, as well as Wynne County and Grant County. So this includes Montgomery. This is not Alabama, by the way. This is Louisiana. This includes Montgomery here in central Louisiana, also including Aloha and Verda and Derry. They have Aloha as a town name in Louisiana. Let's see, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. They did put a tornado possible tag on that, though. It doesn't mean that there's an imminent danger for tornadoes, but it means that tornadoes can develop out of the storm. Let's see here. This is what it says. Preparedness actions. Seek shelter in a well-built structure. Stay away from windows. The storm is capable of producing damaging winds and large hail. Tornadoes can quickly develop from severe thunderstorms. Seek shelter immediately in an interior room on the lowest floor of a well-built structure. That's if there is a tornado warning. It would still be recommended that you go well away from windows. You know, if you're in a hallway or something, you know, away from windows, then yeah, you should be good. But like I said, if there was a tornado warning on this, then at that point, then you definitely want to be, definitely in your safe spot. Now, look at the velocity. I don't really see any rotation going on. I do see a lot of just, mostly winds flowing in the same direction for the most part. I don't see much of any couplet or anything. There's a little bit of winds maybe trying to develop, but yeah, this is nothing really big right now. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on it. If it does go tornado warning, then we'll let you know, but right now there's nothing that's screaming tornadic on it at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see here. What's up, Free Thinking? Good to see ya. Saying, what am I getting tonight, please? Absolutely. Here, let's bring you back over here. All right, so you are in a level. Let's see, I think you're in the level 1 threat. You're right on the edge of the level 1 threat. Okay, so Macon area is actually in the thunderstorm risk area, but you're not far from the level 1 threat. Here tomorrow, you're not either. So the SPC does not have you in the severe risk. However, you will probably see maybe a little bit of remnants from the storm. I mean, perhaps maybe a few booms of thunder, being possible. So here, let's actually bring you guys back to the models real quickly. We'll actually bring up the future cast here. We'll pull up that right now. Here, I'm actually gonna go ahead and load up my color table here that I have. There we go. I like my neon one. Also, let's go to the HRR. You can just see how low res the GFS is. Yeah, these global models are very low res. They're better for the macro scale, for the big picture. The HRR is better for the micro scale. What I mean by that is basically the big and small picture. So this is kind of what we're looking at with the system. So right now it's 6 o'clock, so this is kind of where we're at right now. Over the next couple of hours, that line will continue moving eastward. But then, as we approach into right around midnight Eastern, things start to weaken quite a bit. So out by Macon here, let's load up our town names here. It doesn't really look like that line's going to be much intact by the time it reaches out there. I mean, at least according to the to the HRR here. It does look like, though, we could have a couple scattered storms, maybe. A couple of scattered storms overall. But that main line definitely kind of dies out between them. But the scattered storms are actually for tomorrow. So, I mean, there could be a couple scattered storms here this evening, too. But they're relatively isolated. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Macon, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, the SPC doesn't have a risk, and I see why. I see why everything doesn't. Everything just kind of weakens by the time it approaches here. So, I mean, you could get a couple storms, but more than likely, they'll just be like normal thunderstorms. Anyways, let's see. Ryan says, my town was hit by a tornado last night around 11:30. Sheesh, dude. I'm glad you're okay, man. That's crazy. What's up, Carrot? Good to see you. See, thankfully, there's a small tornado on the ground for 8 miles. I was tracking it. Wow. I mean, 8 miles, that's a pretty good little distance, Sheesh. I'm glad to see that you're okay, though. That's pretty wild. But what's up, Carrot? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. But anyways, yeah, like I said, we'll definitely be watching the line over the next little bit. I mean, it's still capable of tornadoes and stuff like that. I do want to load up the lower level winds, though. Let's load up our 925 millibar wind speeds, so that we can kind of see what direction those lower levels are flowing in. We'll use green for the lower level winds. So this is about 2,000 feet up or so. It's not that high, but we do have Yeah, we do have lower level winds of about 20 knots or so, which isn't anything excessive. Here, let me load up the 700 millibar winds. This will kind of show us the change in wind direction with altitude. Yeah, we'll go ahead and load up 700 millibar. This should kind of show us the story here, and we'll have that in yellow. All right, so there you go. That's that perfect classic example of those veering winds here. So basically, what's going on here is the winds themselves are not that strong, but the direction they're flowing in, can create some spin. So, like we mentioned, a couple thousand feet up, the winds are actually flowing kind of like this. But then, as we go up into altitude, the to I think 700. We calculated this the other day. I think 700 millibars. What was that, like 15,000 feet or something? Yeah, I might need to pull it up again. Yeah, let me figure out how high that was. So I know that 850 is 6,000 feet. So no, 500. Okay, 500 millibars is about it was about 17,000 feet. Let me just pull up the table. Here we go. 700 millibar height in feet is. It changes depending on the how strong the pressure is. Here we go. 700 millibar. Okay, it's about 10,000 feet. About 10,000 feet or so. Okay, so basically we're looking at the winds from about roughly 2,000 to 10,000 feet here. So in the, right around 2,000 feet, the winds are flowing in this direction that I've marked. And about 10,000 feet, the winds are changing in about this direction, or they're moving in about that direction. So you can kind of see how the wind direction changes a bit, going from mostly north-northeast, changing more towards the northeast. That can actually create some spin within these storms here. So, definitely some veering going on there, and that's a tornadic environment. But the thing is that the value of which these winds are flowing in, the wind speeds themselves are not super high as comparing to like yesterday or whatever. But anyways, Free Thinking coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Free Thinking. It's greatly appreciated. Saying thank you, Andrew. You are very, very welcome. Seriously, thank you. I should be thanking you for that. Sheesh. It's really nice of you, my friend. Thank you so much for thanking. You absolutely rock, my friend. Let's see here. Carrot says right now the rating for the tornado that hit Union City is incomplete, but some impressive wording so far. Home swept clean from anchoring every 4 feet, which is a pretty good anchor. Whoa. Yeah, that sounds pretty gnarly. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that was. I mean, I think yesterday the forecast from SPC, didn't they have a SIG level 1 only? So we were only expecting up to EF2 tornadoes, and that just goes to show you that you could still have stronger tornadoes on some events here. But wow, that's crazy. I hope that everybody's okay out there. I did hear that there were some injuries, but I haven't heard about any fatalities. I really hope not. Let's see. Ryan says it was an EF0. Max winds were only 75 miles per hour. Thankfully, it didn't grow. It was a part of the KLCS line. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, typically, tornadoes embedded within the line are usually not as strong as those, those isolated supercells, those discrete supercells you see. The thing about the line is that there could be some interference, in the kinematics for those type of tornadoes. They absolutely can happen, and they can sometimes be pretty strong. I mean, I think I was mentioning this the other day. I think the strongest tornado that was ever in a line of storms was EF4, which is still impressive. But yeah, typically the big ones come from those discrete cells, if the environment, allows it. There's 4 confirmed deaths. Oh shoot, that's terrible. Yeah, dang, dude. I hate that. That's terrible, dude. Kara says there's 3 and 12 injured. 12 people injured? Dang, dude. Well, prayers because of their families out there. That's terrible. All right. So, anyways, let's hop back over here to the GR2 over here again. Yeah, I hate hearing that. That is terrible. We do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We got one over here in Mississippi. This one shouldn't be here for too much longer. It expires at 5:45, so we still have a little bit. But it looks like the storm is kind of moving out of the warned area here. But we still do have that severe warning in place for Walnut Grove, Standing Pine, Lena, Tuscola, Hillsboro, Harperville. This is also, yeah, still for 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar hail. They haven't changed that. The other one here that we just recently got not too long ago, over here in Louisiana, this one includes Derry, Aloha, Montgomery, and Verda, which this one's max hail up to quarter-sized. And, yeah, it's just typical severe warning, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail on these guys. This one did have that tornado possible tag on it, but looking at velocity, I don't really see... yeah, I really don't see any rotation or anything like that. But we'll keep an eye on it, which is good. Here, I'll hop over to the other storm too. We'll look. Not really. Yeah, not really seeing any rotation on that part either, which is good. Obviously, yeah. So, like we were mentioning a little bit ago, the main tornado threat's actually not down here. It does include part of the south here. You know, that 2% chance. But the main tornado threat today is actually up in like eastern Ohio, like western Pennsylvania. Here, let's bring up our radar out there. We'll go see what the conditions look like over here. We'll bring up the Pittsburgh radar here, the KPBZ radar, and then we'll actually, you know what? Let's bring up the State College radar. That might be better. Yeah, because the main line has already passed that region for the most part. To be honest with you. Yeah, yeah. So. The tornado threat really for eastern Ohio is pretty much over with since that line's already passed through. I'm not really seeing any rotation though anywhere, which is good. But you know, still could see maybe a couple spin ups. Cannot be ruled out. I mean, the kinematics definitely still support it. Yeah, if we hop our way back over here to the models, you know, with this set of storms here, this is on the HRRR. Those winds about 2,000 feet up are still pretty strong. You know, we're talking about 30 knots, about 2,000 feet up. And then we go up to, 10,000 feet at 700 millibars, you know, height equivalent. And the winds change pretty aggressively to the northeast. So that's, you know, definitely still supportive kinematics for tornadoes there. I'm going to grab a little sounding. Probably not the best idea. Probably wouldn't be the best here. Wow. There's a bit of a capping inversion there. Look at that. Our lower levels are doing some wonky stuff here. Let me bring up our dew points here. I'm curious to bring up dew points. Yeah, dew point. Typically, you want your dew points in like the 60s here. Dew points appear to be fairly low according to HRRR here. Huh. You know. Those storm bases could be getting a little elevated, lowering the tornado potential. So while the kinematics are there, while we do have that veering wind shear, the storm bases are likely elevated because of lower dew points, greater dew point depressions, drying air in the lower levels. Yeah, these are definitely becoming elevated. That's a good thing. That's actually a really good thing. That means that the storms would likely be less tornadic, and that's probably exactly why they don't have that big of a tornado threat out there. Actually, that's in the 2% region. Yeah, State College is in the just in that 2% region here. Here, let's hop back over here. So there's State College. Well, that's good. That's actually really good. So our tornado threat's probably over here up in Pennsylvania. We'll keep an eye on it. Oh, that's terrible, Kim. Man, that's just absolutely terrible. Like I said, prayers to the families who were affected from the storms. That's just terrible. I hate to hear that. Let's see. We still have got a little bit longer on this guy. We have about 15 more minutes on this warning up here in Mississippi. This includes Walnut Grove, Freeney, Tuscola, Hillsboro area. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. So heads up to you guys out there. Then we hop over to central Louisiana. We have that other warning for Aloha, Verda, Montgomery. This one has 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter hail on it as well. Right now, no tornado warnings. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx anything. But guys, if there's any zip codes or anything you want me to take a look at, I will be more than happy to. So if you're new to the channel, basically every once in a while we'll do zip code forecasts. So basically, if you have a zip code that you want me to look at for anything specific, just throw it down in the chat. I can look up your weather, tell you what's going on, in relation to the event and stuff like that. So while this event here is coming to a close, thankfully, unfortunately, we do have another one lined up. I hate to tell you. It could be pretty big as well. So we do have, let's see, so day one, this is today's risk, which is mostly over with. Tomorrow we just have a little level 1 threat. Then we go into Monday. Monday we have also a little marginal risk here for Monday. But then we go into Tuesday. Now, Tuesday could be a pretty good day for severe weather. Already a pretty big 15% risk here from the Storm Prediction Center, which includes central Texas, central northern Texas, goes through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. We do have that 15% chance here, probability, just for any type of severe weather. It's not classified, in the direct categories yet, but it will be once we approach typically the day before. So Monday we'll find out the exact probabilities for Tuesday's threat. So then we go into Wednesday. Wednesday, the threat does extend to the east here, all the way down from eastern Texas through the Ohio Valley, the lower Midwest, and up into the northeast here, all the way up as far up north as southwestern New York State here for next Wednesday. So, yeah, coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, those are going to be yet again some more severe weather expected. But we're getting to the point now where this is becoming pretty common. Once we head into March, usually is when we start to see more severe weather events and stuff like that. So I think we're getting a little bit of an early start to the year, with the severe weather and such. Let's see here. Haley wants me to look at a zip code. Absolutely. You're up in Kansas City, though. I remember where you're at. So I think you do have to keep an eye on it. Yeah, Kansas City's in that 15% on Tuesday. Sorry, Tuesday. So we'll definitely need to have you keep an eye on the weather for next Tuesday. Let's see. What's up, Samuel? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to put your clocks forward. Wait, does the time change today? I guess it is about that time. Yeah. No pun intended. Wow. Honestly, I forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out for next Tuesday. Here, let's actually look at the models. I'm curious to see kind of what the event looks like so far. Let's see. We're gonna start off looking at moisture. I do want to pull up our dew points here. Let's load up my color table here. So, like we mentioned, we want our dew points in the 60s usually. Here, let's, you know what, we gotta go back to the the GFS. We were looking at the HRRR, which is too soon, or it doesn't go out as far, basically. All right, so going up into Tuesday, yeah, we do have, yet again, some more moisture advection there. You can see those dew points advecting northward. So we are seeing moisture building back into the country here. Yeah, so this is for Tuesday evening, but we have our dew points well in the 60s, which is perfect for the system here. But yeah, dew points in the 60s, maybe even closer to 70s in some spot, which is pretty high. So definitely a pretty good amount of moisture advection there. So that checks off. So there's really 4 things you look at for forecasting severe weather in any type of thunderstorm. You need moisture. You need kinematics. So you need wind shear, basically. So strong winds at certain levels of the atmosphere, moving in certain directions. So you need wind shear. You need moisture. You need instability. We measure that in CAPE, which convective available potential energy. And then you need lift, which is a way to get that warm air off the ground, essentially, into the colder environment above. So that is that. So whenever it comes to, let's see here, we're actually going to go ahead and pull up the MU CAPE. So this is the most unstable layer here. So I mean, it looks like we do have a pretty good amount of instability actually towards the Midwest here. This is remember, this is also one model run here. So But this is showing. Yeah, we definitely do have a pretty good amount of instability. Let's do mixed layer. This calculates the instability throughout all layers of the atmosphere here. So let me pull this up. This is better for, just looking at all the layers and not just the most unstable layer, because having mixed layer is very important. It still seems like there's quite a bit of instability out here by the Midwest here, especially up by like Missouri and such. Once again, dew points are in the 60s. So that's good. I'm gonna grab a sounding here for Tuesday. This is Tuesday at 2 p.m. for Missouri. We do have a little bit of a capping inversion here, so storms could have a little bit of a hard time firing off, but I'm assuming the next frame should break that cap, which it does. Yeah, it does. Overall, not really that bad of a environment here. There's not much veering, though. This wouldn't be, I wouldn't think, much of a tornado threat. There's not a whole lot of veering winds in the lower atmosphere here, but there is a pretty good amount of instability. I mean, we could have some pretty tall top thunderstorms from a sounding like this, about 12-kilometer tall storms, which is pretty decent. Dew points in the mid-60s. Our mid-level shear here is definitely pretty darn strong. Our mid-upper level shear is very strong, but lower level shear it's not anything extreme. But, given an environment like this, yeah, definitely could see some gusty winds, maybe some severe weather in it. Here, let's try maybe like Arkansas. The instability is not as crazy out here, but still got some pretty good wind shear, good moisture, good instability. Yep, no, I definitely see it. I definitely see it. Let me go into Wednesday here as that cold front starts pushing through. This is 5 p.m. on Wednesday. You can see that we do have some instability all the way up towards the Ohio Valley. It doesn't show a whole lot of instability. Let's grab one for Ohio. There's enough. There's definitely enough. Still some strong wind shear. Good moisture advection. Yeah, I mean, that high latitude, it's still pretty good. Dew point's still in the 60s. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a pretty good environment. I definitely do see why Tuesday and Wednesday do have those risk areas. So, yeah, next Tuesday, next Wednesday, I definitely need to be keeping a close eye out for the severe weather, because what's happening now is we have this air mass that's kind of pushing down this way, and then it's going to allow for advection to start. That northerly air, that the moisture coming up from the Gulf is going to start pushing up further north, and it's going to pretty much just kind of recycle itself, and more moisture will start building back in, which will set us up for the next event. Let's see here. It's looking a bit active near Natchez, Mississippi, but it may not be anything because I don't really know what I'm looking for. We have a couple of severe warnings right now, which we'll look at real quickly. So we do have one in Mississippi. This is out here by Walnut Grove. They should cancel this one pretty soon. Yeah, we only have 5 minutes left on that warning. That one won't be there for too much longer. Out by Natchez, I think that's down this way. There's Vicksburg. Oh, there we go. There's Natchez. Yeah, definitely got some pretty heavy storm activity going on. Heavy precip rates, but nothing severe right now. Our radar coverage kind of sucks over here. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see. Yeah. These storms are strong, but they're not severe. Here, let's go look at that other severe warning up in Texas real quickly. This one is out here by Christine, McCoy, and Campbellton. This one's just for quarter-sized hail here. Wind should be less than 50 in terms of gust here. Let's see here. Ohio says, hello, how is it going? It's going good. Hope you're doing well. So you're just curious about Ohio the next couple of hours. Here is a zip code. So the thing about Ohio is I think your guys' threat is pretty much over with here. So that's definitely good. Here, let me go ahead and bring up your zip code, though. Let's hop you all back over here. because the main line is already rolled through. Oh, this is out by Wooster. Gotcha. Yeah, I think you're good at this particular point in time because the main line of storms is all the way over here in central Pennsylvania now. Um, and basically we're having more stable air built into the country right now at the moment. So honestly, though, I think you're good here. I'll even bring up the HRRR and we'll look at the future radar here. Because yeah, I mean at this point in time, you can see all the instability has pretty much rolled out of the region. So yeah, your main threat for severe weather is over with. I mean, there could be a few spots maybe where we could get a couple of showers or so, but it definitely seems like it's clearing out quite a bit. So you're good. You're good out there. Although I will tell you though, we should keep an eye out. I think it was next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. We do have yet again another threat here for severe weather. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see. Kale says, how is the long range outlook for the Northeast next weekend? Gotcha. Yeah, so we do have a little bit of something to keep an eye out there for. You said for next weekend, or are you talking about like? Oh, so that you're talking like next weekend. That's obviously a bit far out. Yeah, since today's Saturday, that's like a week away. The farthest that we got right now is day 5, which this is for next Wednesday. Anything beyond that is pretty long ranged, but I can pull up the models, but they're probably not going to be very accurate at that point. Okay, you know what it looks like? So we do have that other cold front coming through, which is going to cause that severe weather on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then of course we have more of a drier, a more cooler air mass rolling through. You can see represented by our dew points here. Everything starts drying up a bit. In which this air mass will likely still be overhead even into the weekend. So I don't think we're going to see anything severe really coming up here. Yeah, because that air mass is going to be there for at least a couple of days after the severe weather event here. I'll even compare with Euro, which I'm pretty sure they're going to say the same thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so nothing. You're probably not going to see anything big coming up for the for next weekend. I know it's pretty far fetched, but we do have enough agreement to say that drier, cooler air mass will still be overhead. Let's see. See, appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. I'll be on Tuesday and Wednesday for sure. Thank you. You're very welcome. No problem. And yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys up to date with the weather as we go through. What's up, Banksy? Good to see you. How long am I streaming for this? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm just streaming as long as it goes. I hate saying I'm gonna stream this long, and then if I have to like, if I want to end it soon, I can't because it's like I said I'm streaming up to that point. So I take it minute by minute. Honestly, I do. I mean, we've already been streaming for a little bit, so. Let's see here. Carol says thank you. Yeah, no problem. You're very welcome. You are very welcome. Yeah, I mean, if you guys, like I said, if y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We are here to help. That's the whole point of the channel is to, keep you guys up to date with the weather, show y'all what's going on, and just hopefully help save some lives. That's the ultimate goal is to, just keep people safe here. See, what I love, I just love tracking weather. I've been doing it like most of my life, and it's like one day I noticed I'm like I could probably help out people with some of the things I know and observe with these storms and stuff. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should stream it. So I just started streaming it years ago. But yeah, I just generally enjoy being here and just helping out people it's another big thing. But anyways, yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out there for definitely Tuesday going into Wednesday. I mean, it seems like we're gonna have quite a strong front there. I mean, look at that. That's gonna have quite some forcing on it. Like this cold front I don't feel like it was as strong as this next one that's going to come through. I mean, do you see how like hard that cold front's pushing there? There's got to be a lot of forcing on that thing. I mean, just visually looking at it, I could see that there would probably be more lift on this next cold front. Um, Haley will definitely have to keep an eye out for Tuesday. It's hard to say exactly how bad it will be yet, since we're still in the macro scale, the big picture at the moment. But we'll definitely need to keep an eye. Definitely need you to keep an eye on it. What's up, Calvin? Good to see you. Yet on Wednesday and Thursday morning was meant to be the worst day of the three. It really underperformed, and Thursday, Friday totally overperformed. Yeah, yeah, it was definitely pretty crazy there yesterday. We did do some coverage. I was gonna stream later at nighttime, but I didn't think we needed to. Does the weather look severe for North Texas Tuesday and Wednesday? Yes. Next Tuesday for sure. Next Tuesday we do have next Tuesday we do have ourselves a that 15% extending into North Texas, so including the Dallas Fort Worth area, like Texarkana, Wichita Falls, Abilene, Texas area, all the way down to Austin, almost towards San Antonio as well. So yeah, we'll definitely need you guys to be weather aware out here. Yeah, I mean it looks pretty good. I'll even bring up a sounding out here. We start seeing that moisture advect back in. So going in Monday and then Tuesday. Let me grab a sounding for Tuesday. This is Tuesday evening. We're just gonna grab one out by like Austin, San Antonio area. Just kind of see what it looks like here. Wow. You know what? This is actually a pretty good sounding. I mean, this screams hail. This screams potential for damaging wind gusts. Maybe even tornadoes here. I mean, because our dew points are in the upper 60s. That is supplying a lot of moisture to these storms. There's a lot of dry mid levels, which could support hail growth. Low wet bulb temperature, which could slow down the melting rate of hailstones. Tons of CAPE. Lots of instability dispersed throughout the atmosphere, which is pretty good. Really strong mid-level flow. That's a 70 knot winds here at about what is that? Maybe about 7 kilometers or so. I mean, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. We do have a little bit of a curvature here on our photograph, which does show a little bit of a veering wind profile in our lower atmosphere. Could support maybe a couple of brief tornadoes. Lifted condensation level. This is, how high is 500 meters in feet? There is a way to change the units. I forgot how you do it though. Yeah, because storm the base of the storm, the lifted condensation level is basically the level at which air becomes fully saturated. And we do have that's really important for tornadic activity. If you have an elevated storm, so the storm base is high, it makes it harder for tornadoes to develop in. Say versus a lower storm base. Calvin says, let's see, is the storm staying north of Houston? What, for this upcoming storm? Houston's not included in the risk here for both Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah. But I mean, let's see. I mean, I'll grab a sounding for Tuesday evening. We'll see what it shows here. There's a little bit of a capping inversion there, actually. So your air parcel would start, you'd start to have some rising warm air. So a thunderstorm would try to start, and then once it hits this level, it'll slow down and maybe even completely stop, because the temperature of the rising air would actually become equal to the air around it, which would stop any convection. Because you need that positive buoyancy. So you need that parcel to continue rising, but it only does such if the air around that rising warm air is actually colder. Twilight. Sounds good. Let's see. The really tired mom says, "Do I think we'll have any potential for tornadic activity in Paulding County, Georgia?" Let me look. We'll see what we got going on out here. Paulding County. Oh, that's Ohio. Whoops. Paulding County, Georgia. Here we go. All right, so we do not have a tornado threat for today or tomorrow. Yeah, SPC does not have that area in the risk area. However, we do have a potential for a couple gusty winds, as we do have a 5% chance. Yeah, we do have a 5% chance for winds, and in terms of hail, we do not have any hail threats, so yeah. What's up, Tabletop? Kind of worried about my area for tomorrow? Nah, wouldn't be. There's not even a tornado threat out there. Yeah, you just got a little 5% marginal risk, which isn't anything excessive. I mean, it's potential for a couple strong wind gusts tomorrow, but nothing big. Nothing extreme. What's the jet stream looking like for Tuesday? Any specific level? Lower level jet, mid level jet, upper level jet? I'm assuming lower level jet. So we'll bring up our 850 millibar winds here. So for Tuesday, we'll bring it back here. It looks like our lower level jet could be pretty decent. So this is for Tuesday evening, maybe about 40 knots or so, 40, 50 knots. Remember, this is Euro, though. We'll look at the GFS here, too. Good to compare models, you know. Yeah, GFS looks a little different here. Maybe 35 to 45 knots. Oh, you want me to look at 500 millibar? Okay, we'll look at our mid-level jet then. Whoa. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because we were looking at those soundings, and I was telling you guys right around 500 millibars or so, which is about 17,000 feet. How the winds look pretty strong. They look pretty strong. You know, that could actually allow for, if you have strong mid-level wind shear, it can actually allow for storms to become pretty long-lived because it efficiently separates your storms updraft from your storms downdraft pretty effectively. Especially if the storm base or the meat of the storm is still in that layer, essentially. All right, let's see. Really tired, Mom. I got you. Let me look at the zip code here. Oh yeah, that's for the area we're looking at. Yeah, so like I mentioned, for today, we just have a level 1 threat. No tornadoes, 5% wind threat, and no hail here, really. Thoughts for next week for my area? Tabletop, it's a little far out, man. It's a little bit far out because that you're far east coast. So, it's Houston the threat for severe weather this Tuesday. It can't change. Actually, you just asked that a little bit ago. I told you that you're not in the risk here as of right now, and that there was a bit of a capping inversion in place here. But we'll have to see. I mean, it depends on the models and stuff like that. Let's see. I'm glad we don't usually get big strong tornadoes for the ones we do. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're lucky. Yeah, here in the States, we have like the perfect geography that allows for like big tornadoes because you got the Gulf in the south that supplies the moisture, and then you got the Rockies. They definitely help out as well. And you got the cold air coming down from up north. I mean, it's the perfect geography for tornadoes. But yeah. Look at the storm north of San Antonio. The only storm we have right now, or the only warned storm here, is this guy. This is south. South of San Antonio. The one north, you said, though? This guy? Oh, that's interesting. It's got an interesting shape to it. Not really rotating, though. Not yet. Yeah, the tornado threat down here is pretty low. Let me double check. I think we only have actually, we don't even have a 2% threat down here. Yeah, out by San Antonio, the SPC does not have any tornado threat. Yeah, the tornado threat minimum is for northern Louisiana right now. But things have thankfully been pretty slow. And honestly, I think a lot of today's severe weather events are probably mostly over with. So I think with that being said, I think I'm probably just going to head off here, y'all. Just wanted to hop on here, do a little bit of an update for you. We've been live about an hour or so. Just a little bit of coverage here. But yeah, because I mean, the line is already east of that 5% risk area. And so stable air mass has already started building back in. So I don't think there's really much more need to be live here for really much anymore, because the main threat is over with. Matter of fact, our last severe thunderstorm warning actually just got canceled, so I think we are good. But all right, everybody. Well, I think I'm gonna roll off here for now. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining. I really appreciate y'all. Like I said, yeah, I don't think there's really no need to be live here anymore. But we'll be live tomorrow, at least for an update. Tomorrow we just have this level 1 threat, the level 1 marginal for the Mid-Atlantic. It's not anything big. I don't think it'll need coverage. The only thing I'd go live for this is if there was actually like a tornado potential, which there's not for tomorrow. Tomorrow is strictly just damaging winds and maybe a little bit of hail too. But yeah. But yeah, I honestly don't think we need to be live here much more. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all. If you guys have any more questions, you guys can ask us in our Discord. You guys can join in the description below. If y'all are new to the channel, consider subscribing. Maybe leaving a like on your way out. It'll be much appreciated. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow regardless. I don't think we'll do coverage tomorrow, but unless the trend upgrades dramatically, which I don't think it will. But we'll definitely be live tomorrow anyways, just to help out on, just to help you guys with, or just inform you guys really about the event coming up for Tuesday and Wednesday here. So anyways, let's see. Anthony says, thank you for sharing the weather, bro. You were perfect on timing. Yeah, no problem, man. I got you. Like I said, I'm here for you guys. We're here to help, but yeah, like I said, I think we're pretty good for the night. I think most of the threats over with here. Like I said, we don't have any more warnings right now. For one, I mean, we're literally just have that one flash flood warning for Mississippi, and the line's already east of the 5% risk. So I think we're good. But all right, everybody, y'all take care. Have a great rest of your night. We'll keep you guys updated. Once again, we'll be live tomorrow to update you guys on next Tuesday and Wednesday's threat for severe weather. And once again, if you guys could leave a like, hit that subscribe button on the way out, it'll be much appreciated. But you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Or evening, I should say. And we'll see y'all in the next one. All right, peace out, my friends. Y'all have a great day. See y'all in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.